Welcome everybody to the Freedom to Speak Easy podcast, where there is no prohibition on the First Amendment. Mark Rizzoli, Anthony Diamarin. Thursday we had Mark and I went to a nice little event on Thursday, and we had the pleasure to meet with Bill Spadea for his I believe it was his Common Sense Club, and Mark, you were the MC basically of this event. You opened up. You had a let's just say, a massive, just an incredible opening. What'd you end up talking about? Let folks know.
Well, how what's the backstory? How we got such a big crowd. Initially, Bill Spady was invited to speak at the local Republican meeting, and down in Hazard County, also known as Monmouth County, and boss Hog Politics, Sheriff Sean Golden, basically, he threatened the local Republican Party that Bill can't be allowed to. He was uninvited, and Bill rented the bigger room at the venue at the Town and Country Diner. Owner was great, and we get well over 150 people. The room was packed. We had a great time, and listen, when I opened up, it was just about the facts of what's going on right now.
Right.
Here you have. And Jack Ciottiarelli is also involved with this too. Yep. They don't want nobody speaking to Bill Spade. Now we have adults
who died and made them kings. Well, yeah, seriously.
We have other adults now saying you can't invite Bill Spade to events, which is unbelievable. That you have grown men telling other grown men, who they can and can't talk to.
Right.
But listen, it's real simple. While all this is going on, we're a sanctuary state for illegal immigration. We're a sanctuary state for abortion. We're a sanctuary state for now mutilating children, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't hear anything about that.
No.
Okay, and in Monmouth County, they're under siege with auto theft, home break-ins because they're trying to get the keys to the cars. I've never seen so many home invasions in all my years in law enforcement. But let's be concerned about who talks to Bill Spade. Okay?
This is the problem with the Republican Party. This is what we're concerned about. Who died and made these guys kings? And not for nothing. What have you ever won? Jack ran a terrible campaign. All right, and we're gonna take orders from Jack.
The reason why I refer to him as Jack Ciottiarelli because to stand up and say my campaign was too white,
right?
That's why I lost. Well, since you now want to get into the whole woke side of things,
right?
Well, we're done with him.
All right, listen, absolutely, we're done with him. And it's like the 1%.
What does he stand for? He hasn't said anything about what's going on.
No.
School curriculum, the sanctuary state for the mutilating children.
It's too taboo for these guys. It's too taboo.
When is somebody? I want to know if a 5-year-old can't vote, get a driver's license, buy a beer. Well, how can a 5-year-old make a decision about sex change?
Jack,
surgery?
You want to answer that?
Will somebody respond to it? Sean, Jack, all these people are more concerned about bullying people. How many times in this show do we talk about bullying in school?
I know.
Now we have bullying people, who volunteer.
Yeah. Grown-ass men are going to tell us.
And you know what the great thing about the event was? It was people from all different parties.
It was.
And when I got into the whole, especially about when I asked who in this room signed a waiver signing their daughter's rights away that they have to put up with the fact you have boys dressing as girls going in the girls' bathroom, the girls' locker room. You now have women's sports under siege by a small percentage of people. You saw the response. People.
Incredible response. You had people coming up to you after the event.
Yeah, the curriculum. You have children right now that are so far behind. And what's the solution? CRT, DEI, this radical sex curriculum, and then let's sneak it in math, science, history class. Let's do all that stuff because it's so great. We have to try to deceive the parents. Now we have a congressman, and I got into this whole spiel about it.
Go ahead.
Congressman now moved his campaign funds, right, Malinowski, into this other organization now that concerned parents are now calling them MAGA parents, right? MAGA extremists. Just like the NJEA, concerned parents have to be labeled extremists now because how dare a taxpayer ask the people, public servants, which are the teachers, the teachers union, what the hell you're teaching my children? It's just unbelievable.
Well, when you got to go and hide it in a math class, and it's just they're targeting. That's it. If I've never seen targeting children, I don't know what it is. Targeting children. This is targeting kids. But back at the event though, Bill you spoke tremendously. You killed it out of the park. Then Bill goes up there, and I'll tell you, it is really common sense. I never knew it was politics before recently, and I'll tell you this: the guy spoke plain English. He did. He spoke in plain English to the people. Spoke about small businesses, right? We got into the radical, what's going on with the radical curriculum at the end there. But You know, and the Republican Party too. The ones that are there down in Trenton. What are they doing down there? No, they're not. Very few of them are picking up the ball here.
Well, listen, another thing was discussed, the fact that they're so obsessed with where Bill goes, but they're not concerned with the fact only 4 in 10 people voted in New Jersey during the gubernatorial election.
Absolutely.
As opposed to Virginia, where it was 6 in 10, and that's why you have a new governor.
Right.
Because he was not afraid to run and oppose the CRT curriculum, all the different curriculum, which is why parents came out, because they're concerned about the children. Listen, we all understand it. Anthony, you and I have discussed this to no end, that people are afraid to be canceled. They're not going to the Board of Ed meetings because they're afraid to be attacked on social media. So that's where the elected officials come in.
Right.
And I said this, and we got a big charge. I said, if an elected official cannot stand up for a child, he or she should not be in office.
No, they
that's what's going on right now.
They shouldn't.
They're so intimidated by the NJEA and his garden state equality, a very small percentage of the population. Neither was elected to govern this state, but yet we have elected officials that are just bowing down to them.
Right.
It's just unbelievable.
Well, listen. When you play it down the middle and you try to play it safe and you try to think that in your mind they think that they're going to be able to get part of the other side they'll never be. They're never going to like you. Well, they're never going to go with you. And you know what you end up having at the end of the day? You have a Bob Hugin. What happens? He gets slaughtered in that election.
Why would your base come out when you stand for nothing?
You stand for zero.
Right? You know, you got Jack Ciartiarelli, who was flip-flopping license for illegals.
Right.
Guns, you know, all this different things. How about the fact that you have public workers, myself, you know, police, firemen, who we still haven't had our COLA returned.
Yeah,
you're spending millions of dollars on people who are here illegally. That you have people, cops, firemen, who paid into the system,
right,
are not getting, and they retire. You're not getting a cost of living increase. It was suspended by Big Mouth Christie and his 1%er allies.
The 1%er.
You know? So, I mean, there's so many things going on in this state, but yet let's worry about where Bill Spady is making an appearance.
Well,
isn't it unbelievable?
It's crazy.
The amount of effort that was put into trying to obstruct his event as opposed to getting out there and speaking about real issues, what people care about. How about how to get people out to vote, how to motivate them?
Right.
Like, you know, right? But like was discussed. Right now, they're running third and fourth string people because they just want to be able to attach the rope to and make them into puppets.
So what I would tell Bill is this, and what I said to him was, "Hey, this is a good sign. When you're getting attacked like this, when people like yourself and others are saying not to go, not to go around Bill Spady, basically, that means that he has a message that's resonating. It's starting to resonate. He stands for something. He's willing to take a chance on it. He's willing to fight on the issue." Okay, and that's the problem. We don't have enough Republicans, okay, that are principled enough to stand up to this stuff. That's what we don't. We have a mediocre down the middle.
Anthony, let's take it one step further. This is now getting into other counties now.
Oh,
see it now in Somerset County, right?
It is.
Because the Somerset County chairman, Tim Howes, had Spady at a couple events promoting his candidates. He went on the radio. Now they're circulating, Jack Ciartiarelli's allies are circulating this ridiculous letter trying to get him to resign. Why?
Right.
The last time I checked, the Republican Party is supposed to be standing for free speech.
No.
My question to Jack and Sean Golden is the Bill of Rights above your pay grade too? Are we getting into that Phil Murphy stage now, where God forbid if we catch you speaking to Bill Spadea, we're going to cancel you out? You're no different than Phil Murphy and the rest of them.
That right there. So and
it's being led by this former acting governor Don DeFrancesco, Mr. I mean, if you look him up, I mean, he's Mr. Unethical.
Yep.
What the hell have you done? I haven't heard a word from him or anybody who signed that letter. You won't. They'll attack their own, but in the meantime, you know what they all are, Anthony?
What's that?
They're all appeasers.
Let
me quote somebody. Winston Churchill once said, "An appeaser is one who feeds the crocodile hoping it will eat him last." And right now, that's what the NJGOP are. They're appeasers.
Yes, they are. And then when you don't separate yourself from your opponent, all right, you become your opponent light. That's what you are. Your opponent light. And guess what? The vote always breaks to the opponent. Always. Right. It will go that way. You'll never appease the other side. The radical base. Listen, for whatever the reason, you could give them everything they want. There will never be enough. It'll never be enough for them. So you can't. You got to defeat them. That's it.
But it just really.
You got to stand for something. Though. You got to be principled.
Exactly.
You got to be principled.
I mean,
you got to be.
to get out there and insult people who campaign for you by saying my campaign's too white, are you kidding me?
These parents are going to school board meetings. They're suffering over there. They need help. They're begging for your help, and these guys are just catering. They're coddling over. Because they're in their sick mind. This is going to benefit them. It never does. No. It never does. They never learn.
No, they're always on defense.
Always constantly playing defense. You're 100% right.
No one's taking the initiative. No one's meeting with parents. I said earlier, that was what was great about all. I've been to many of Bill's town hall meetings. With his comments and it's people from different party affiliations.
Yep.
Republicans, Democrats.
You wouldn't know what they were.
Oh no.
Yeah, you wouldn't know what they were.
You know what they're concerned about? They're concerned about what's going on in New Jersey, the economy, what's going on with their children, their grandchildren, taxes, crime. Listen, it's politics 101, Anthony. Public safety and education, that's the foundation of any community, right? Yeah. Any real elected officials they understand that.
Yep.
Okay, that's what drives your local economy. I'll tell you what, and if anybody wants to debate that, CC, Newark, Patterson, Camden, that's all you need to know.
Yes.
And there's a lot of other areas like that.
Right.
Where, things, the economy and everything is going bad because of crime. It's just. But let's worry about where Bill Spady is.
Listen, Bill could the rest of these guys could learn a lesson from Bill, because Bill, honestly, he's articulate, and when you go to and we've seen him a couple times. At least I have. I know you've seen him in person doing these events. He is articulate. He's charismatic. He talks he talks in regular plain language. Yeah. Straightforward stuff. So I mean, it's quite something. So he's going to give them a run for their money. Hopefully, if he decides to.
Listen, when you go in and meet with people, you got to get right to the point.
Absolutely.
Listen, everybody wants. That's the problem right now. No one's, you got the Phil Murphys of the world. They're supposed to be the party of science. It's really all about political science.
It is.
Which means that they're not dealing in fact. It's all fiction. All they want to do is mislead people and lie. Phil Murphy, let's just, run him. When you just go right down the list, he killed senior citizens. Mm-hmm. He's obsessed with children. Whether it's
obsession is not even close.
Right?
It's not even
close. That puts him. That makes him evil. Okay, that's one thing. When you post about Phil Murphy out there, hashtag evil Phil, because that's what he is.
Yeah, and that's what he is. And for the nuts that disagree. Honestly, it is either you don't have any children or you're never around kids. But how you could subject any child to this stuff is disgusting. It's honestly disgusting. This stuff, if you want to teach it, it's just taught in the home. That's it. But and Bill, back to Bill real quick. One last thing. He stands for all this stuff. He's on our side with this stuff. He's willing to speak out against it, and he does every day. When he has the mic behind the microphone.
Listen, he's well over 100,000 people now in his Common Sense Club. Everybody who opposes what's going on in New Jersey right now should join his club.
Absolutely.
Go to his town halls. It's really important. You put it this way: you attend Bill Spade's town hall, you don't have to worry about being canceled.
No, you don't.
I can tell you that.
And there's no prohibition on the First Amendment there either.
And what went on in Monmouth County with the elected officials really tells you we need to get rid of the line system in New Jersey. Is there a bigger example of that?
Totally agree. If you went to nonpartisan elections, imagine you went to nonpartisan elections, half these fools would be gone.
No, right. The only reason we survive is because the line. It's just unbelievable for someone that, hey, you better not talk to Bill or you're done.
Yeah. It's amazing. It's these guys have, and they've won. They win in districts that are, let's be honest, are very heavily Republican areas anyway. They've never had to fight for anything. They never had to stand for anything in terms of politically speaking, at least. And they have the nerve to tell a grown ass man to stand down and not and be that upset about it. You know what? Why don't you come out and debate us? Come on the show. Yeah. Come and debate us.
Listen,
we love to talk issues. We polite,
Yeah, listen. I'll take on that boss hog politics anytime.
Jeez.
It's. I mock it, and it's sad, but
it is sad.
It's you have to mock it because it's such a disgrace.
This the problem. You don't find this on the other side though. This type of stuff.
Well, perfect example. Steve Fulop announces he's running for mayor of Jersey City. The entire Hudson County Democratic organization is behind.
100%.
Jack announces he's running.
Yeah.
You don't hear the same thing.
No.
Now he's trying to manufacture a problem to push the Somerset County chairman.
Mark, tell me, is there some juggernaut that the demand for Jack Ciattarelli to run again? I mean, I haven't heard it. I talk to Republicans all the time. It sounds like Jack's got to run. Jack, don't run, and we're gonna. It's over. I mean,
listen, there's a lot of good candidates out there.
There's a ton of good candidates.
I mean, there's probably one or two out there right now that haven't really haven't announced yet.
Haven't announced.
Because you haven't heard it. But
I'd like to see the party get a little younger too, get into these colleges, universities.
Well, how about getting some people out there who are going to stand for something?
Absolutely.
And not be appeasers.
Some of them, we said it before, some of them just like seeing their name on the ballot.
In fact, maybe maybe Bob, you haven't seen Bob Hugin, so maybe the crocodile ate him. Maybe they ate him already.
What a joke. What a joke,
guys. He is a joke.
Bob Hugin, how he lost that election, I don't know.
Like sending a Marine. I think he might have been a merchant Marine.
Yeah, he was a Marine. I don't know, billionaire.
I know a lot of Marines, and they they go head on. I mean, this guy.
The rapists beat him. I mean,
I don't know. Maybe he filled gas tanks.
I think Menendez took the summer off too that year.
Oh,
didn't even campaign. They hit him down into the Dominican Republic, wherever the hell he goes.
But this is why would state leadership, the state chairman, allow this type of conduct?
Because we don't have we honestly don't have leadership.
Exactly.
We don't have leadership.
Exactly.
Zero. That's it.
I mean, you shouldn't allow this to be going on.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
You want to remove Tim Howes, like one of the only guys in this state that can actually say he stood up to the
he's a patriot,
fraud, right?
He's a patriot. He's a patriot. Absolutely, he's toe to toe with these guys.
Yeah. I didn't see anybody else.
No, that's true.
Matter of fact, Jack and his team, they went into hiding because they bashed Donald Trump so bad about the voter fraud allegations, they could not reverse They couldn't pivot on it because they would have looked bad.
These Republicans, but they don't even understand their own base. They don't even understand their own base.
No.
They have no idea.
Listen, I believe Donald Trump got 1.9 million votes in New Jersey.
Yeah,
if Jack got that, he's the governor.
You're 100% right.
You alienate the vote, and they continue to alienate voters.
That's true.
And besides, they just into bashing people. They're just not addressing any issues.
No, it's not.
I just want to tell you about that. We saw what happened in Mercer County with the machines going down. We had it in Middlesex County. You're at that stage now.
Right.
If you work and you got to commute every day, you better vote by mail, because if you show up at 6 a.m. and the machines are down, you're not going to be able to get back to vote.
Right. Well, for instance,
it hasn't been addressed.
We have a primary coming up, and this primary season, they're going to get the VBMs, the vote by mails, this week, I believe. They're going to start getting them, people. Yeah. So you're going to get Mark says it every time when we end the show. Remember, don't forget to vote early. Utilize those options. The Republicans, for some reason, have a bad habit of not wanting to. They don't trust the system. But listen, you got to return those vote by mails, because if we're not excited about our candidate, the one thing about Republicans, they won't show up. That's it. They won't go the other side, but they won't show up, and that's the problem. Jack Ciattarelli doesn't excite the base. He doesn't excite the base at all. Not like we've seen with Bill. I'll tell you that much.
Right.
And Bill's bringing people over from the other side.
This is why we need voter ID.
Absolutely.
You need there's nothing racist about voter ID. No. Everything you notice when things don't go their way, they don't argue on facts. You're a racist.
Oh, I know.
It's like it's like our critics with the whole trans thing.
Listen.
Listen. You know what? You want to make an argument about this transgender thing going into girls' locker room? Bring some facts. Here's the reality: boys can't get pregnant. Get over it, James. You'll never be Jane. Get over it. You need to. All this needs to stop already. Listen, we need to get back to let people live, let kids be kids.
Right.
Let girls enjoy. I don't know when it became okay for this jihad against female women's sports and everything.
Well, listen. Back to what you said. When the debate, as the saying goes, when the debate is lost, slander becomes the tool of losers. Right. So I mean, that's basically what it is. So
where are all these groups? Everything that's going on in the state right now. Mm-hmm. You see all the marine life dying because of the wind turbines.
Right.
But Rutgers says it's okay. I really take Rutgers' word for it. A university that's pushing communism.
I know.
Yeah, okay. But I'll take Rutgers' word.
Rutgers University.
Where all these groups, the Sierra Club, all these groups are worried about bear hunts and this type of hunt. Well, you're turning the blind eye to what Phil Murphy's killing marine life.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
in
a nutshell, we discussed. We started today. All these different things going on in New Jersey, but let's be concerned where Bill Spady and who speaks and where he speaks at.
You know, how about they fill a room for once? They can't fill it. I doubt they could even fill the room. So,
well, what about reaching out and doing what Bill does, trying to build?
Make your case to the people. Listen, the parents out there, especially if they go to these school board meetings, are yearning for a leader here. They're yearning for somebody to back them up and take the bull by its horns and be a leader here. Right. And they don't have right now. There is none. So you know what? And the only person I've seen so far is Bill. He's the only one that's willing to talk about it. So kudos to Bill Spadea.
Well, that's what. Unfortunately, in New Jersey, News 12 is the Phil Murphy News Network. You know, there's no one's talking about a lot of these publications. That's why they're going out of business. A lot of these newspapers are going under because it's one-sided.
Yeah, you're 100% right.
It's unfortunate, but podcasts are going to have to be the way it is.
That's it. And we're not going to stop.
Speak the truth.
We're not going to stop talking about the truth. And speaking of which, as we wind it down here, folks, we do a last call where Mark and I get up to a minute each to speak about any topic we want to talk about. Mark, as usual, what say you, man?
Yeah, listen, basically what we talked about. I mean, I think elected officials really need to, if you want to get reelected, you need to start speaking out. I mean, you have everybody patting themselves on the back. Craig Coughlin, the speaker down there in Trenton, he's going to go down as the worst speaker in the history of the state. He allowed everything that Phil Murphy's put forth, whether it's illegal immigration, the curriculum, everything. During his darkest time in the state's history, Craig Coughlin remained silent. Senate President Steve Sweeney first on Nick Scuteri remaining silent. And you pat yourselves on the back thinking you're doing a good job. Like the Middlesex County, the state of the county speech. Well, how was that? You keep raising everybody's taxes. Okay, you're doing it. Hey, Ronnie Rios, you're doing a great job. Okay. I mean, really.
State of the county.
When's the last time you seen a Middlesex County sheriff's car drive through your town? God. I've never. But let's pat ourselves on the back.
These guys love doing
a great job. Hey, way to go. Way to go.
Absolute disgrace.
You talk about, insulting people.
Well, speaking of the county, Mark, I'll tell you, these county committee seats that people are going for now in this primary season, I'm going to say one thing. If the county committee person that's running cannot knock on your door, they shouldn't get your vote. If the county's got to send out people, because it's a neighborhood thing. It's basically your neighborhood that you're running for. That the county's got to send out people to go and do the candidate's bidding, they shouldn't get your vote. If they can't get off their lazy asses and knock on your door and talk about the issues that are going on in your neighborhood, they shouldn't get your damn vote. And that's all really I have to say about that, Mark. That's it.
Well, yeah,
your candidate walk.
Now that you brought up election season, I know there was a mailer went out in Edison about that Councilman A.J. Patel and the racist flyer. Listen, if an elected official was white and did what he did, they would have been indicted and be out of the fact that Kevin McCabe, the mayor of Edison and the Middlesex County chairman, is now supporting him. It tells you all you need to know. I guess they were okay with it.
Well, listen, they did. Right?
And then you have Joe Coyle, probably the dumbest man in politics, who called for AJ's resignation. Now he's supporting him.
It's sick. You can't make it up.
You can't.
You can't make this up.
And then you have, TikTok Sam, in name only as mayor. We know Kevin McCabe's the mayor. Now he's supporting this after he ran the committee of the whole. I don't know how much taxpayer dollars with his phony investigation he did.
This is how much they know that they're what they did was wrong. They didn't even put the pictures of the candidates on the flyer. They left the names. They left them all off.
Yeah,
that's all you need to know.
AJ Patel shouldn't be running again. He should resign. He should have been indicted.
Absolutely. So
you talk about the Middlesex County prosecutors of selective enforcement. My goodness, you and I both know if that was a white elected official, would have been indicted. Mm-hmm. Would have definitely not been maintaining the council spot along with running for re-election with the county support. It's just unbelievable. That's why New Jersey is a joke. And right now the state's in total disarray.
Well, listen, then you had the committee of the whole that investigated this. They investigated themselves, and who benefited from the committee of the whole the time? The current mayor and his new and his now then councilman, now chief of staff Bob Deal. Now making $100,000 as a chief of staff. The committee of the whole was a joke.
Didn't Joe spend over $200,000 on tulips or something?
It's just an unbelievable.
I mean, he operates like he's skipping through the tulips.
Well, folks, until next time, Mark Rizzoli, Anthony Diammer.
Have a great day. Thanks for joining us.
Take care, everybody.